Hello, I am having a few concerns that I will really love to address about the armed robbery in Monrovia. Armed robbery is a dangerous thing to be happening over and over and over again and again in our country's capital or in some other places in the country. Uh, it is very disappointing that people are always driven by fear of insecurity. But whether the authority in charge are taking appropriate measures to end the process remains, to be known. But it is very dangerous. But in my own view, in my own thought, some people are more responsible for that than others. Even though collectively, as a national unit, I think we are responsible collectively. But by job delegations and other things, appointments, I think some people are more responsible than others. Monrovia is the seat for the government of Liberia. So we have multinational forces there. We have the police. We have the collective security apparatus, all in Monrovia, the joint security. So Monrovia should be a safe haven. It shouldn't be a place where we must be hearing about armed robbery, about fire, and these ugly acts. Well, I don't know how other people see it. Monrovia is a very large area, and so we have the largest concentration of security men in Monrovia. But the thing I can't understand is, why is it all the time that people are crying for armed robbery, rape, and other physical forms of abuses? And they wouldn't say, and no one would say, it is because people are poor. When is it that people were all rich in Liberia? Not a time that I know of. Not a time that everybody was well off in Monrovia. People always struggle. So, non-employment is not the justification for criminality. Let's face the fact. Let's face the issue squarely and fairly. We can't have this thing going on all the time. Armed robbery. Armed robbery is a symbolism for insecurity. And too many people have found it to be profitable. The latest event on my auntie's house is frightening. We depend on our security or the joint security to ensure that everyone is safe. But if armed robbers can attack at any time, this must be a disturbing security issue for Liberia. I am sure some opposition elements take pleasure in it, thinking that they want to use it as a means to pull down the weird government for being ineffective, but they do not have a point. Even if we are say, hey, you come for the country, it will still continue to a greater extent, because no one is, can jumpstart the economy. The only way the economy can be well enough is when there is a sustained peace and tranquility, domestic tranquility. That's how you see the magic hand of the economy turning the clock by itself. That is when we can see surplus to augment the national effort. There are some people that have money, they have greater capability to do things to help the masses. Yes, people within Liberia have the capability. Some people have the capability to bring about, good thing. They can employ people. Solely not, but much that, investors are the only one that can be employers. Liberians themselves can employ. But armed robbery is a serious crime. And it must be contained. It must be dealt with and contained. We don't want to know now about the question of what can the government do for the people, but what can the people do to strengthen the government? We have our country widespread in front of us. What are we doing with it? Can we sit down in Monrovia and think the most good thing must happen to us? No, not likely. We have to explore the possibilities. We have to harness the resources that God gave us. We have to make use of them to benefit ourselves. We have a green mass of land stretching from the sea, from the shore, and then going in the hinterland. And we have a gigantic population right now. Anywhere where President Weah went, I saw a heavy turnout of people. So I can no longer believe that the population is still at 3.5 million people. We are like 6 million people. Even though it's not much, but there is the fact that we are a small country. We have to be determined You know, one concept my university professor, or the professor from the Polytechnic Institute in Sano, what he told me is that small is beautiful. Small is beautiful. Small is manageable. Small is 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 beautiful. I cannot find any other lowest term that I can use to explain it. If three persons are in a house, for example, if they cook a meal, everybody will eat as much as they would desire. But if 10 people were living in a house, though they are plenty, though they make up, a huge population, feeding will be a problem. Some people will not eat to their fill. So, vis-a-vis 3 people house and 10 people house, you will see that the 10 people will always have shortage, will always be underfed. Any other thing will not be enough. So economic vibrancy doesn't mean, people should be plenty. It means the ability to manage a limited resource. No resource in the whole wide world is just inexhaustible. Therefore, economics coin a term to say anything that is not abundance is scarce. Scarcity, for short. So that the scarcity economists have always been able to solve. The little you have, then you maximize the use of it so that it can reach everyone. If everyone can get at least a little of what a resource is, then we say at least what we call equality is being manifested. Not where other people want to eat more than others. That is not equality. Equality is possible. Equality is possible. Only if we manage. Only if we manage. But this is never true in Liberia. Equality is the central thing that drives economists to work their tactics, to make plans, to design strategies for the sustainability of a nation. So that I won't go off track, armed robbery will be my main topic for this week in our capital, not any other place. The president is there. Most of the members of the legislature from both houses are in Monrovia. So Monrovia should be the most secure area in Liberia. Nowhere else compare. So, like, this armed robbery is becoming questionable in my own thought. Let's look at it as it is. We are a small country. So why can't we manage to flush out those things that we don't want? Armed robbery is a serious crime against the security and peace of the Liberian people. It must be contained and it must be dealt with whenever we happen to catch some people. Like sometimes ago, it will be more than 2 years. Some people were caught. Children that were jacking things by the roadside. And then they were giving latches on their bare butts. And some people that don't love our country, that want to see Liberia fall into ruins, were saying, we are security. We are, police. We're brutal. They don't understand what it means when armed robbery is widespread, that people will be fearing our country. People will be fearing to go to the corners, to run comments. It is serious. People in government should design strategies too to contain it. And it is the responsibility of some people to find strategy, because we will leave power by and by. He is not an everlasting president. But while he will start, there will other people will begin. So we have to cooperate as a country and people, most especially those of the people, that are occupying government positions and quartering in Liberia, in Monrovia, or anywhere. Once you are appointed to a government position, you become an automatic reporter. See something, say something. Report it for redress. I never ever see anyone brought to justice for the fire incidents that have been happening over and over and over. It is a serious crime. Senator Dara's supposed to go in the darker corners of his county to mobilize people and say, look, there is what I'm designing. Because there are more concentration of people in Monrovia than any other cities around the country. So Monrovia must be a safe haven. It is the commercial capital. It is the political capital. So we cannot lose the integrity of it. If there is no security in Monrovia, what else? Can we, be sure in Nimba County? If it were happening in Nimba County, in San Niquile, or in Zwedro, or in Barclayville, or in, Tomenburg, or in Vonjama, what would people in Monrovia say? They can't say anything. Because if they went there to condemn the art, they would say, hey, you are from Monrovia. Where were you when this thing, is happening in Monrovia? So this is how we must compare and contrast. Senator Darius DeLong is responsible. He bears responsibility. He is the senator for the most populated county. And his county hosts the government. So his duty ranks next to the president, to the sitting president. The president is in his, in his county. So it's like a father living with son. That's what it is. Where is in his county? Where is only a president. He's not a policeman. He's not a soldier man. He's not a paramilitary. Only he sees things that are reported to him. He become like a restricted man. He can't walk about before somebody, jacking in a corner. So he's secure. He is the chief executive officer. CIC, commander-in-chief, but he hardly go around. When security don't approve it, we will sit down in the mansion. He can't go anywhere. So those people that are around him, they should make sure that the right things are done. The right strategies are played by the book. But I see, people want to do politicking all the way to do ugly things that will jeopardize the reputation of the government, or even to see it out of power, or to make it look like hopeless. Then they have point to say, hey, we are able to do this and they are not able to do that. How sure are they when they get there things will be solved? Things will multiply. Armed robbery is an evil. It has the propensity to derail the economy. The latest event, I'm not going to go into detail because it is so fresh on people's mind. But I must give my respect to the police officer or officers that put down the 5 armed robbers, denying them for their subversive activity. Armed robbery is a crime. We can't let it go. So my suggestion here is that the police presence must be dominant. We needs to employ more police. Like Bill Clinton did. Clinton took over and he employed like 100,000 police officers when he took over. Peace enforcement is the responsibility of the police force. That's why they are armed. That's why they have the heaviest equipment in America. They have big guns. They have big guns. They have helicopters. They have cars. They have everything. Our police should be equipped that way. We are a small country, and so police operation will be effective. Because so many people are coming in our country now, we don't know their function. What are they coming in there for? Criminality? We don't understand. Because among the people that died, it was reported that one of them was a Nigerian. The other person was not recognized because we don't have DNA. So when somebody closes his eyes and people do not recognize the person, then he goes unnoticed. We have to get DNA system going. We have to do forensics. We have to capture the biometrics of every citizen. So that when or even the people who are coming into the country, they have to do thumbprint. So we can see when something happens. I see some people say they're studying, forensics here. But when we don't have offices for it, or we don't know how, it is done, then what is the future of their studying? That, discipline. Many a time I see that some people die, they are brutalized, but when there is no information linking to people that killed them, then everything is lost. In America, that cannot happen. If somebody was strangled to death, the forensic guys will get there, and some people will be linked. And they will be declared wanted to clear, the list. Or to clear the charges. And long time, Liberia has been supported by the United States. We should have these things, established over there. Unfortunately, we don't have. And then Liberia bears the name like the oldest independent democracy on the African continent. Big name, but nothing is under it. Nothing to look forward to. We are backward in everything. And some people calling other people limited people. But how much do they know? They cannot ever explain to make a difference or to educate the public. Spelling riddles that have no viability. Such people will never be respected by the new waves of intellectuals that are coming to Liberia. I will be one of them. I respect people based on what they are able to import for the general good of everyone. But just to make loud mouth sitting in their homes and offices, anywhere, they have no suggestion. Qui n'a rien à proposer doit sortir. Qui n'a rien à donner doit quitter. C'est la vérité. We cannot continue to put up with people with no ideas. We cannot continue to coexist with noise makers. It is an insult to Africa's oldest republic. We cannot continue to live a name that is worthless. So those people in position of trust must be able to craft policies, and we must be able, we the governed, must be able to endorse their plans or to reject it if it is not worthy, if it is not, worthy. We will no longer be ostrich to look on without, commenting. We have to put mouth behind those people in authority. And until they change, we won't quit mouthing them. Liberia is old to still be a place of decadence and immorality. Liberia is very old and rustic to be looking to other nations for donations. We must be able to create our own reality and change our own history and circumstances. This is all some of us are asking. Nothing more, nothing less. Senator Darius and some other funny people that are in the diaspora. Noise, noise, noise. They're not even able to go in a classroom to execute lesson plans. But they want to be in offices and to be passing judgment on people. How is that going to change our realities and circumstances? Not likely. That's what some of us are saying. If you know, you have to teach others, so others can teach others. So enlightenment begins from the classroom. That's what that government is doing. I never see a government like it before. It got in power and started to, say, look, we have to go this way. We cannot go that way. And it is succeeding. Once